What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our college football channel. I did my playoff predictions yesterday. Now I'm going to show you how I think the New Year's Six Bowls will go. So just based off of all my predictions, again, I went through most of the Power 5 teams, went through the Power 5 conferences, and showed you the predictions, the standings, how they would look based off of my predictions. We did the playoff, and now we're going to look at the New Year's Six Bowls. And this is how I think the committee would choose these games based off of my regular season predictions. So again, maybe I don't agree with how they would rank certain teams and things, but this is based off of what I think the committee would do with the season going, how I projected it to go. So let's start here with the playoff games. If you missed my playoff prediction video, you can go back and watch it. But yes, I did have Miami playing Alabama in the Peach Bowl in one of the college football playoff semifinals. I understand that Miami is a pretty bold pick here, but that fourth team has just been tough for me. I can't figure out who I think it's going to be. Maybe a Pac-12 team sneaks in there, or if Clemson. I think Clemson's probably the most obvious pick just because they've been there before, but I just don't know that they're going to do it this year. So I had Alabama and Miami there. Alabama with the 1 seed, Miami the 4 seed, and then we had in the FIESTA Bowl, the other semifinal, Ohio State versus Georgia. Which I feel much more confident on with Alabama, Ohio State, and Georgia. I feel confident in those three teams. You know, Georgia, maybe they lose a regular season game and then lose to Alabama in the SEC championship and don't get in. I feel pretty confident, though, that this team is going to go undefeated. I mean, there are some tests for them. You know, I look at South Carolina on the road, Tennessee, even Oregon in the opener. There are some tests, but I'm going to say that Georgia's able to do it. There's a lot of talent on that team, and I think that they've got enough coming back to where they can at least go undefeated in the regular season. So those will be the two playoff matchups. Now we go through the other New Year's Six Bowls, and of course we've got to follow the rules of the bowls. It makes one of the matchups not very desirable for me. One of them, I just hate how it came out, but it was the only way to make it work. So let's just get into it here. We'll start with the Rose Bowl. It's going to be Michigan versus Oregon. So I have Oregon winning the Pac-12, so they're in, no doubt about it. And then we've got Michigan as the highest-ranked Big Ten team. You know, I had Purdue going to the Big Ten championship, but they had 3 regular season losses. Nebraska I had with 3 regular season losses. Michigan State as well. And then you had, you know, Iowa, Wisconsin, some more teams with 4 losses. So it seems pretty clear that Michigan would be this team. I'm going to do a video probably tomorrow where I'm going to show the entire top 25 and how I think the playoff committee would rank the teams based off of my predictions. Michigan, I believe, is at number 9 in those rankings, and Oregon is at number 5. So that would be the matchup here in the Rose Bowl. It'd be a good one. That'd be a lot of fun. Michigan versus Oregon. And again, you got lots of candidates in the Pac-12. Oregon, Utah, USC, 3 teams that have a really good shot to be here. I think Michigan will be the team, though. If Ohio State goes to the playoff, I feel very confident that Michigan is going to go to the Rose Bowl unless they just have a bad season. The schedule really favorable for them. Be very surprised if they lost more than 2 games in the regular season. All right, now we go to the Sugar Bowl. You got to do SEC versus Big 12. The SEC, Texas A&M wound up being the highest-ranked team, despite the fact that, you know, I had Alabama and Ohio State, Alabama and Georgia, I should say, going undefeated in the regular season. I didn't have another SEC team with fewer than 4 losses. They all had 4 losses or more, just because I think this league is so deep and the teams are going to beat up on each other. Texas A&M wound up being that highest-ranked team. I think they came in at number 14 because one of their losses came to Miami. When you look at the resume for Texas A&M, I believe that they would be the highest-ranked team outside of those top 2 from the SEC. It's close with Texas A&M, Arkansas, and LSU. Those are the 3 that I think have comparable resumes, and it's very close with those 3 teams. But Texas A&M, I believe, will be ranked higher. And then I had Oklahoma winning the Big 12 championship. They finished ranked number 10, 9-3 in the regular season, and then winning the Big 12 championship, finishing in the top 10. So you'd have an SEC versus Big 12 matchup here in the Sugar Bowl, which is what you have to have. And I think that's the way it would go. Texas A&M versus Oklahoma. So teams that are ranked kind of low for New Year's Six Bowls, but they would be here in this matchup. And all right, this is one I don't like, the Orange Bowl. Clemson versus Notre Dame. So Clemson would be in. They would be the highest ranked ACC team. I have them finishing at number 7. NC State, I have finishing at number 11. Pitt is on down there a little bit. I mean, with Miami going to the playoff, you got to go with Clemson here. Clemson's going to be the team out of the ACC. And then the other selection has to be either a Big Ten team, an SEC team, or Notre Dame. And no SEC or Big Ten team was really ranked high enough, so it has to be Notre Dame, which means we get a rematch from the regular season here in the Orange Bowl. Again, I'm not really a big fan of a rematch like this, but it could be a fun matchup. I think the first game will be really good. I did have Notre Dame beating Clemson at home, playing on a neutral field. It's going to be a good one. I think it'll be a good game there in the Orange Bowl. We could possibly see this game in a rematch. Clemson versus Notre Dame again in the Orange Bowl. And then that leaves one more bowl game, the Cotton Bowl, which will be an at-large versus our top group of 5 champion. And I've got Utah versus Cincinnati here in the Cotton Bowl. I did not do my full predictions for the American, didn't do a video or anything, and I've just been kind of looking at it and trying to figure out how I think it would go. I think it's going to be Cincinnati versus UCF in the American Championship game. I believe UCF will beat Cincinnati in the regular season, but then Cincinnati will find a way to win the rematch there in the Conference Championship game. That's going to make them the highest ranked Group of 5 champion. You can't count out Houston. They're definitely going to be in the conversation in the American. That's going to be a really fun, I think, 3-way battle there in that conference to see how it plays out. But I don't see a team in another conference really having a chance to be ranked very high. So I'm going to say Cincinnati does it again. They win the American Conference. They go to the Cotton Bowl where they will face Utah. Utah, I have going 10-2 in the regular season, then losing in the Pac-12 championship game. That's going to put them at number 8. They'll be ranked number 8. And Cincinnati, I believe, came in number 17 with 2 losses, losing to UCF, like I said, in the regular season, and then losing to Arkansas. But that still put them at 17, which is the highest ranked Group of 5 champion. And that would put them in a New Year's Six Bowl. So those are my predictions. That's how I think the committee would do it based off of my regular season predictions. Would love to get your thoughts. How do you see it? How do you see it playing out? Who do you think is going to go to the New Year's Six Bowls? Give me your picks down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more here on the SG1 Sports College Football Channel.